Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and in today's episode I'm finally going to dust off and take out of storage this little vase over here. I've wanted to make a planted vase for quite a long time now already and had this vase standing around for months and months. And I want to create a simple scape with whatever pieces of wood and stone that I still have left over from several of all of my little projects that I have around here. Plant the vase with whatever plants that I still have in my little grow out tank and just create a very simple little planted ecosystem in a vase. Over the last few weeks, I've basically just been busy with this Iwagumi scape in a bowl. At first, I wanted to use this LED light stand over here that I bought off Amazon for the Iwagumi bowl. Unfortunately, the bowl just didn't really fit onto the base plate, so I had to come up with a different solution. So I built this DIY light stand here for the Iwagumi bowl, and that means this light stand is now free for a new project. Now, as you saw from the intro, I want to create a planted ecosystem in this vase, and this vase actually fits perfectly onto this light stand. I'm pretty sure the light should be definitely more than enough to grow all the plants that I want to put in here. But before we start off, there are two things that I have to do first. The first thing that I need to do is actually dust off and clean this vase. It's been standing in storage for several months now, and well, it got a bit dusty. Now that the vase is actually nice and clean and dust free, I still want to add a self-leveling mat to the vase. I most probably don't need to use a self-leveling mat, but I rather want to be safe than sorry. Unfortunately, I don't have any double-sided tape to just glue the self-leveling mat to the vase itself. So I'm just going to go and glue the self-leveling mat to the vase. That way it's just going to stay on there basically forever. I don't really need to remove it anyways. And this glue right here, it cures pretty quickly and it is also quite flexible in itself. Then we can add some soil and then we can actually start playing around with the hardscape. There we go, the self-leveling mat is on. I could have most probably have cut it a little bit better, but the bad cuts aren't going to be that dramatic. I'm going to dig through all of the hardscape that I still have outside in one of my boxes and bring everything inside, and then we can have a look through what I still have. I have quite a bit of spider wood, smaller pieces, some medium pieces, and I think I still have a bit of dragonstone. There should be more than enough there to, well, create something pretty cool. But this is all of the hardscape that I still found outside of my box. As mentioned, I still have quite a few pieces of spider wood around here. I also have this very old piece of wood that actually a friend of mine gave to me. Maybe this can work, but we'll see. I have a lot of wood to go through. We'll most really find something pretty cool. And I also still have quite a bit of dragonstone. I have a few smaller pieces still here and there. I also still have some Ceru stone as well. Just a few smaller bits and pieces. Well, maybe these can work. I would say let's just start playing around. I do want to use the height of the vase. So I'm going to go through the pile of hardscape that I have in front of me here and we'll see what we can create. So I very much like the pieces of wood that I have here. I also have this piece right here that I also still want to put into the back here, but I do need to glue everything down because it's all a little bit fiddly and a little bit wobbly. So as usual, I'm going to be using the liquid super glue method, and this time I'm going to be using some cotton pads. My wife bought a whole pack of these and these work quite well. If you don't have any cotton pads, just some normal cotton or some toilet paper, just scrunch it up into a little ball, just push it between any of the pieces of wood or pieces of stone and wood that you want to glue together. Pour some liquid super glue over the cotton or the toilet paper that you might be using. It's going to harden extremely quickly and it's going to release quite a bit of fumes, so do not breathe in the fumes, but this is just the best method to get hardscape to just stay together very, very quickly. After a lot of fiddling, I think this looks pretty cool. I very much love the way that the wood comes in. I mean, the two different colors, they are going to blend in over time. The exposed cotton wool I am going to be covering up with some plants, but I'm very, very pleased with the way that the wood has turned out. I still have quite a bit of space to get my hand in to do some maintenance. I could have still added a few more pieces of wood, but I've got big hands, so I didn't want to like clog everything up again. I've done that with some other tanks of mine. Before I add the stones, I do want to add a little bit of substrate. I'm just going to be using some Aquasoil from Denila. It's what I still have around, and that also should be more than enough nutrients for all of the plants. Let's add the Aquasoil and then add a few stones around, maybe glue them to the piece of wood as well, and then we can get to planting. So there we go, the substrate is in, and I only added in 2 pieces of dragonstone. I didn't want to add any more. It was also, well, quite difficult to get my hand in there, but I also want to keep quite a bit of space free so I can actually also plant some plants. I have quite the selection in my little plant grow tank. I'm going to go over there. I'm just going to collect whatever I think would look quite cool inside here. But yes, I think it's ready to add some green in here. And here are all the plants that I've picked out of my grow tank. As mentioned, I had quite a bit of a collection over there. I have this very big Anubias Barteria over here, and then I still have a few smaller pieces of Anubias Nana, Anubias Bonsai, one tiny piece of Anubias Minicoin. I have some Vallisneria here as well that I've always been collecting out of the Beta Cube here. It just grows like wildfire. I have some Bucephalandra Kedagang, and I have some Eliocharis Utricularis. Plus I also have some Liliopsis brasiliensis here as well, just to, well, give a little bit more of a dense grass as well. I would say let me just get all the plants ready and spray down the vase with some water. It's easier to plant the plants in wet aqua soil, so let's get to planting. So there we go, the planting is done. It was way more fiddly than I expected. I couldn't get in with the tweezers into most of the places. I also don't have the proper, well, scaping tweezers. Mine are just a little bit too thick. However, I do think that it actually turned out very, very pretty. One thing that I also changed was I took the Anubias Barteri, the very big Anubias. Big Anubias unfortunately just casted too much shade for all of the plants in the foreground, and I do want to get the plants in the foreground to, well, produce a nice carpet. Luckily, I did still have a Microsorum Trident in my grow out tank, which I placed in the back here. And I do think that the Microsorum does, well, look way better in the back than the Anubias. But anyways, let's fill up the vase with water. Then we can see the plant and the entire scape with a clear view. It's the next day. Unfortunately, yesterday when I filled up the vase with water, everything turned very murky, and that is basically all my fault. I was in a little bit of a rush, so unfortunately I poured in the water a little bit too quick, and that just agitated a lot of fine particles. Everything just, well, whirled up, and as you can see, it is still a little bit murky, and as mentioned, my fault. The other mistake that I made was I didn't rinse off the dragonstone. When you buy dragonstone, all of the little holes in the stones are completely filled with a very, very fine clay powder, well, compacted with clay powder, and the stones themselves are also just covered in some clay powder, and that obviously, yeah, made everything a little bit murky now. I did go to my local pet shop this morning and I got a few animals that I want to add to the vase. Usually I don't like to add animals directly the second day after I finish a project. Any new system that I basically set up, I like to first let it just develop itself over time, let the beneficial bacteria develop over time, and let all of the plants, well, first settle in and actually root a little bit. Though I'm fairly confident with this vase that all of the plants that I actually added into the vase, they came out of established aquariums, so there is quite a bit of biofilm ready all over the place. And with all of the plants, there's also going to be a bunch of beneficial bacteria that is already added into the system. But before I add the animals in here, I do want to do a water change, and I want to clean the top of the rim of the vase. There's quite a few small little particles of clay and a few pieces of wood that are covering the top here, just to clean everything off. Hopefully get the water a little bit clearer. I might still add a few plants here and there, since I did buy some new tweezers that are going to be a little bit smaller, so I can actually access some, well, parts that I couldn't access with my big tweezers. But I would say let's actually just drain out some water at first. I'll have a look around if I can add a few more plants, and then we can add the animals. Water change is almost done. I did still add 2 pieces of red Nicky Mini just to, well, put in a little bit more of a color in. Everything was just too green. I hope it survives in the back there with the light that is on. But before I fill up the vase completely with water, I'm gonna add some Aquasafe just to, well, dechlorinate the water and just to make it safe for the animals. And then, well, then we can actually add in the animals. So yes, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. I would really like to hear your guys' thoughts on the little vase with the blood red shrimps inside. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell not to miss out on future projects and, well, the update on the vase in the future. I'm already very much looking forward to, well, how it's going to slowly but surely develop and turn out. I'm gonna, well, move the light stand and the vase over to my desk. It's gonna go next to my computer so that I can always look at the shrimps and always keep them in my view. I'm gonna call it here, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.